Hello, welcome to the Horizontal Podcast, the very first episode.
We are the premier horizontal podcast. Ain't nobody doing it like us. We are laying down.
We're laying down. The Horizontal Podcast is the internet's premier rot culture podcast. And what do I mean by rot culture, Mason? Oh, wait, we didn't say our names.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Welcome to Horizontal
with Meg Kelly
and Mason Smeisterla.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for hanging out with us and laying down with us today.
Oh my gosh, I feel so nervous.
No, don't be. We are just two neurodivergent best friends for almost 20 years and roommates.
Yes.
And we have just decided that what works for us is what works for probably 99.9% of America, which is getting horizontal anytime we're inconvenienced or that it just feels right. And that is where we have our most profound thoughts and moments and ideas. And so we thought, why not do it laying down?
Yeah, look, I'm always looking for the next place to lay down.
Look.
And that's the truth.
And that's the damn truth.
Okay, we'll talk about us first. So,
how did we meet, Meg? Take us away. Take us back.
So Mason and I met in the fall of 2005. And
I didn't even know the date. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Almost 20 years ago. Can you believe?
Wow. So old.
And so we met in middle school. We went to the Girls' School of Austin together.
Yes, we did.
Austin, Texas. We're just two Texan ladies out here in the big city.
It was not a Catholic school, by the way. It was an all-girls school, very liberal.
It was a little bit woo-woo.
Very woo-woo.
If you will.
We didn't ever engage in lesbianism, but it's okay if it happened. But we just want to get that out of the way because we get that a lot. But
I mean, it's great if it happened.
It's great.
We love lesbians.
Big fan.
This is a safe space. Okay, this is a place where everyone can come together and just revel in
rot culture. If you love rotting, also it's so fucked up that rotting is seemed or laying down is seemed as
seemed.
Did
you say seemed?
Is deemed is what I meant to say. Is deemed as rotting. Laying down is lazy in this culture. It's so lazy.
Right.
We give up on everything, and we can't believe that these things are happening. So we just have to give up. That's not giving up.
Well,
we're not giving up.
It's the thing about being an American is like, you just have to be productive all the time. And if there's a moment of the day when you're not being productive, there's this like guilt that starts like seeping in. And it's like, I am not worker. Like, I have no value.
I'm not making money because I'm not hustling. It's like, listen.
Come on.
If Simone Biles has taught us anything, okay, it's how to stick a landing.
Yeah.
And how to be very cognizant of your mental health. Like really be very mindful, very cutesy, very demure, very mindful.
We're going to get back to demure. We're going to come back to demure.
But we're going to be very demure, very cutesy, very mindful of our mental health, okay? And a lot of times that happens laying down, okay?
Yes. Look, Albert Einstein said, and I quote,
she's been waiting for this.
Creativity is the residue of time wasted. And so I find that the less productive I am, the more productive I am. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every other country except for us really values that. Like,
what happened to the siesta?
The siesta.
Thank you.
Bitch.
What happened to the siesta?
Siestas. They have times to nap throughout the day. They have just like moments of rest. Yeah. That is so key. I mean, they have 4-day work weeks in some places, and I wonder fucking why. Okay.
Anyways, so
we talk about everything from rotting, spirituality, dreams, siestas. What else?
pop culture. A big part of rotting is being addicted to your phone.
Any device, honestly.
Being addicted to social media. And we're going to dive into that later.
Yeah, we're your urban dictionary.
We're going to tell you, our listeners who are not on TikTok or who don't really look at social media that much.
That's okay.
What are the trends? What are people talking about? What's the tea? What is the 411? We're going to be giving that to you. If you like to lie down, you're in the right place.
You're in the right place. Okay, grab a weighted blanket, grab a Xanax, grab a garden gummy, whatever. Whatever floats your fucking boat.
And the preferable listening experience to horizontal, I would say is also laying down.
Absolutely.
So this is the podcast you listen to. End of the night, we may or may not leave you with a guided meditation.
You never know.
You never know. So
we may or may not give it to you.
We may or may not.
Every ball. We may or may not give it to you every ball.
Yes. I don't know what that means.
Okay, it's drag culture.
Okay, cool. We'll get into that later.
So we met in middle school.
Ah, yes.
But
back to the
here's the
introduction.
thing is that we were besties from a very young age, like 11 years old.
Yeah.
In your most awkward phase, I would say. Whereas like now all of these...
Speak for yourself.
Okay. We all know you were hotter. You were hotter, okay? But I developed my ass late into high school, so I wouldn't have known. But I was... Okay, we were in middle school at the Girls' School of Austin, and 13 girls in our class?
Oh.
6?
No, and there was like 10.
10?
There was 10 girls
Oh
in our whole grade.
So, but we were able to fully be like the ugly duckling version of ourselves in whatever that meant, because nobody was judging us. Everyone was the exact same way. We had, I don't know about you guys, but I color coded my braces to whatever Broadway musical I was into at the time. So when I first met you, I think I was doing Wicked braces, pink and green.
Green and pink, yeah.
And
I remember it like yesterday.
so we were besties throughout 6th through 8th
grade. And then you moved away.
Yeah, I moved to Houston.
You moved to
my mom
Houston.
remarried.
She moved to Houston, and then I went back to public school for high school. And then, we kind of went our separate ways. She went to New York.
I lived in New York for 4 years.
She did the musical
Before
theater
the panorama.
thing.
I did. I got my BFA. Otterbein, shout out. I promptly decided to move from musical theater to comedy when I was in New York City.
Mason is a comedian.
Yes, we should say this. Okay, so I'm a comedian.
We should say this.
I was a New York comedian, and then I moved to Los Angeles after the pandemic.
She's a star, basically. Mason is a talent. She's a diamond in the rough. I am a filmmaker and an editor. I am pursuing video editing. So that's
Julia.
I'm sorry, Julia.
So Julia.
So that's my background. You go to New York. I go to LA.
Yes.
The pandemic hits in 2020. We're still friends on Instagram.
But I Irish exit out of New York without knowing it.
Right.
My mom literally, she lives in Texas, and she was just like, hey, so it's not looking good.
Not looking great.
Why don't you and your sister pack a couple bags and just like come down for a couple weeks and we'll write it out.
Pack a couple
Didn't
bags.
even bring my computer, folks. Didn't even bring my computer like a dumbass. It was just like, ooh, a little vacation.
Yeah.
Turns out it was more than that. And never went back.
Yeah.
But then we reconnected in Texas.
Yeah, so I did the same thing during COVID. My sister and I packed up her car and we drove to Texas from LA. LOL. I have a couple vlogs that I made.
Road trip.
They're not online, but they're still really good.
Very good.
But anyways, so we both end up back in Austin, and we're just vibing at home. Adult children living with our parents, riding it out, raw dogging a pandemic.
Raw dogging the
together.
pandemic.
So then we reconnect on Instagram, and we realize
I was like, oh my God, you're in Austin?
We're both in Austin at the same time.
Yeah.
So we set up a social distance park date.
It was so middle school all over again. Both of our parents, our moms dropped us off in a park in Austin.
Zilker Park.
And we sat down. We had a little mat
We had
slash
a little
towel.
kiki.
We had a little kiki, and we brought some wine. And
I feel like we both drank a bottle of wine.
Absolutely.
I
and
was
that
drunk
wasn't even
by the
enough
time
because we were. But yeah, we reconnected in COVID, and then both of us were just like, oh, you're in LA?
Yeah.
I'm in LA. We're looking for places to live.
Yeah, so she moved back to LA.
Or to LA.
Yeah, she moved to LA and we needed a roommate at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just like, should we do this? And we looked for a place and now we live together. And
people always say, like, be very careful when you live with your best friends or your really close friends, because like everything could go awry really easily.
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact because it's happened to some friends of mine, but like, I feel like because we've been friends for so long, it's almost like we're family. We talk about it a lot. It's like we're like family.
I definitely feel like we're like cousins who live together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's
Sisters,
our backstory.
Siblings.
We do Kiki's almost every weeknight, which is maybe not healthy, but we just decided that this had to be like a normal thing because this is what we always do. We always get horizontal at the end of the day, and we talk about our lives and we talk about things that are going on.
Social media. This is
what we were like. This has to be it.
We're letting you into our day-to-day life and our day-to-day. Could you keep this PG? My God.
I'm trying.
If you're not on YouTube, Mason was just touching herself in a very
Why are you looking
way.
at me?
You're in my peripheral.
All right, let's get to where we just were, Meg, this past weekend.
Here's the thing. I recently got back on social media full time.
Yes, you did.
I took a break for like 6 months. Look, I'm not proud of it. But it needed to be done for
You should be proud
me.
of it. Yeah.
I'm not. It's not cool to be offline.
Well, you needed it for your
It's
mental
not cool.
health.
It's not fun. It's not trendy. Anyways, I'm back now. We're off the wagon.
I
get
used
over
to be
it.
the one to update her on all of the trends in the pop culture things, and now she's with it. She actually knocks on my door.
Now every time you show me a video, I've already seen it.
Okay.
9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10. It's a little upsetting. I gotta say.
I know. I'm ahead,
but I'm proud that you're back. It's glad to have.
So
I'm glad to have you back.
So guys, look.
Brat Summer is in full
Here
swing.
we are, and right now there is a trend. Granted, we're recording this on August 13th. It's going to come out in a couple weeks because we have
that's true.
shit to do. But there is a trend right now that's like the whole demure thing.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to look it up and I'm going to play the original video for you.
Yes.
You see how I do my makeup for work?
Wait. I got to start over.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful. I don't come to work with a green cut crease. I don't look like a clown when I go to work. I don't do too much. I'm very mindful while I'm at work. See how I look very presentable? The way I came to the interview is the way I go to the job. A lot of you girls
Okay, I think that's enough.
Yeah.
So demure, we're talking demure.
Very demure, very
cutesy, mindful.
Very cutesy.
So this is a thing that people are doing right now. They're basically saying like, do you see how I lay on this bed right now? Very demure.
Very demure.
My
very
hair is
mindful.
I've done a little blowout, a little look. I don't do too much. I'm wearing pajamas. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Very cutesy, very
cutesy,
mindful.
very mindful, very demure. Everything we do is for the
demure.
people that we are surrounded by, but also it's for us.
So I have a hot take that I would like to share.
Let's hear it.
Thank you. So trends are interesting because there's a shelf life to a trend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was looking this up on Google
Oh my God.
earlier today.
What a woman in STEM.
Women in STEM.
Women in
alright.
STEM. I looked it up on Google.
So I was looking it up on Google, and it said that, you know, the average trend can last about 90 days. And I was like, that's way
incredible.
too
That's
long.
really
I was like,
long. I
that's
feel like
way
that's
too
longer
long.
than I
so there's
thought.
different trends, like Brat Summer, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with, and like the whole Kamala thing, coconut tree.
Oh, you think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
You exist in the context of something. I can't remember.
All than which you live and came before you.
So there's different kinds of trends. Brat Summer, I'm sure everyone knows, but if you don't know, for the aunties and uncles and whoever, grandmas,
The
grandpas,
boomers. It's okay. We're with you. We're here to help.
The artist Charlie XCX, pop star, house music.
Queen of the
she
world.
released an album this year called Brat. It blew up, and now everyone's like obsessed with Brat, and we're calling it Brat
Obsessed.
Summer. And And we are. Look at her nails. It's lime green. That's
Brat.
Brat. That's
fucking
Brat.
Summer, dude.
That's Brat.
Brat. This is Brat.
That is Brat.
But also waking up in the makeup you wore the night before. Brat.
Brat.
Forgetting to take your Lexapro. Brat.
Brat.
Bumming a cig off of someone you just met. Brat.
Flirting with guys who are much younger than you in a pool party at Vegas. Brat.
Brat. Also ghosting them as soon as you gave them your number.
LOL. But we got to get back to the trends. So we had Brat Summer. But the thing about, so trends have a shelf life. Okay. We're getting back to Demure. Okay.
The algorithm has a shelf life. It's all the algorithm.
Okay. You're getting too excited. We need to calm down.
You see how she treats me?
Mason has ADHD. And whenever I'm around her, it rubs off. I think it's like a contact high.
It's not.
She is special. Anyways,
You're
so
dyslexic as hell. What are you trying to be all prim and proper over here? Anyway, so we
trends have a shelf life. Brat Summer is like a phenomenon. The whole Kamala Harris TikTok thing is a phenomenon.
Yes.
Demure, to me, has a very short shelf life.
Oh.
I love the woman who came up with it. I've seen her profile. I think she's like beautiful and hilarious, and I love the whole bit. But I just think saying demure, cutesy, and mindful is gonna, like, I'm already over it. And I've seen like 10 of those videos. I feel like the shelf life for demure, like, we're not going to be talking about it in 3 weeks.
I don't know. I think that's what everyone said about Brat Summer, and then we're still talking about it. And I think it's going to be a Brat Fall. So you just never know. I think what's great about the demure girly is that she has been saying demure and mindful and all of that for a very long time.
She has.
And now she's hitting her stride. And I really love that for her. So I'm glad that this is, like, happening. But you're right. Like, everything has a shelf life, so you just never know. I want to make sure we get her name.
Jules LeBron.
Jules LeBron, we're very big fans. Please come on the pod if you hear this. We're big fans. We're very demure, very mindful, very cutesy, and we love you.
Very demure. Okay, let's get to the dreams.
All right, dreams. Meg, what is a crazy dream that you've had recently? Because when you're laying down, you have crazy dreams, obviously.
I do. I would like to read a dream
If you don't, write down your dreams when you wake up or interpret them. I highly recommend that you do, because it is shocking and always so fascinating to relive that and then, like, look it up and then see like what it might have meant. It's really trippy.
So what I do is I will, if I remember my dream in the morning when I wake up, I open my notes app and then I'll dictate the dream to my app so I don't have to write anything.
Wow.
And
Unbelievable.
And I wrote this one down. Jesus Christ, I can't find it. I wrote this one down and I literally have no recollection of the dream or writing it down.
Oh.
Which is why I want to read it, because I have no idea.
Okay, so read it.
What it's about.
Let's get to the point.
Thank you. Okay. All right, July 23rd, 2024.
Ooh.
I had a dream I was in New York.
Oh.
And someone brought me to choir practice with Mr. Snowfer and Miss Goodner, my high school choir teachers.
Oh, okay.
However, it was more like a church, and they were trying to gain followers to believe in their cult. I started to throw a fit to show that their religion was a lie.
To show that their religion was a lie. Nothing like a temper tantrum.
I broke a glass cup on the floor.
Oh.
And it started to cut my feet when I left.
Good God.
I realized someone had stolen my passport. And I had a flight soon, so I had to get the passport back from Evil Ed and Jen, my teachers.
Oh, evil.
Which is funny because they were my favorite teachers in high school, so I don't know why they were like, oh my God. I just dropped the phone on myself. Okay. If you're not on YouTube.
This is what happens when you're horizontal. You drop your phone on your face all the time. We all know what that feels like.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm
All right,
losing
get to
it.
it.
I realized someone had stolen my passport and I had a flight soon, so I had to get the passport back from Evil Ed and Jen. Eventually, I got the passport back, but I found out they were making illegal IDs out of other people's passports.
Oh.
I was on a bus. Then I jumped off the bus, then tried to get to a cabin and was running into crazy people. I don't think I made my flight.
That's the whole dream. I don't think you made your flight. I really got to say, I don't think you made your flight.
I have to stress that I read that today, and I do not remember writing it. I do not remember having that dream at all, which is why I'm like so curious about like what that means.
Yes. Okay. Well, what I don't know if we need to interpret what that means. I think our listeners and viewers could also write in about that. But what I think it means, if I were to think about it.
I thought that's the whole point of what we're doing is to figure out what.
Well, yeah.
the
I mean,
dream
I
means.
think we're gonna try to figure it out, and then we'll have them say what they think too. But if I were thinking about it, I would be like, well, you remind me how it started.
So I was in New York and I went to choir practice, except for it was a cult.
I think that musical theater is a little bit of a cult, and I think choir is a little culty. Like if you meet like performer people, we're a little culty. So that kind of makes sense as far as like you're like, oh my god, this is so crazy and like regulated.
You know what is like, to me, it kind of reads a little bit like career stress.
Yeah, I think you were maybe
Because
just like, this is not where I'm supposed to be.
It's a little bit about like entertainment, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like trying to do this thing that I love, but something's wrong.
Yeah, it feels
And
more like...
and it's hurting me.
Yeah, it feels more like struggle
Like,
than play.
The whole glass cutting the feet thing, I'm like, it's hurting me.
Glass.
And then I'm like rushed to get to the airport, but I can't get there on time. So this to me, all my dreams are basically anxiety dreams.
Walking on broken glass. Good song.
So I think that's what that is about. Do you have a dream you want to talk about?
Yeah, so the only one that I have written down, and this is pretty fucked up, but I had a dream. I don't even really need to read it, but I just want to pull it up so I remember. Okay. So I had a dream that Christopher Columbus was coming, but it wasn't Christopher Columbus, it was a woman. And in my dream, I remember naming her Christina Columbusi.
Columbusi?
Columbusi. It was like Christina Columbusi. It was like not at all Christopher Columbus. It was like a cunty version of Christopher Columbus.
That's very you, by the way.
Thank you. And he was coming not to eradicate the masses. He wasn't coming to fuck up the cultures and, ignore the treaties and all that shit and create some new land. He was just a she, and she was sailing, and her name was Christina Columbusi. And I think if it was her instead, she would have...
There would be more people on the planet.
Yeah, she would have she would have loved their traditions, loved all of the culture, and would have
probably had
it
babies
would have been completely
with,
different.
Guys,
Our America would have been so different if it was Christina Columbusi.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And that's all it was. It wasn't it wasn't Christopher Columbus sailing. It was a full blown woman, like really great eyeliner. Can I add? Like she had great eyeliner. I don't know if that was of the time, but in my mind, in my dream, she looked very great. She kind of had like one of those like what is it? The like not fedoras, but like kind of. It was like the Great Gatsby kind of cunty little hats.
What?
What is that show where it's like with the guy from Oppenheimer?
Oh, Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders. It was like a Peaky Blinders hat.
One of those like old man
It was
hats.
like a Christina Columbusi coming in Peaky Blinders style.
Huh?
That was my dream.
All right.
Anyway, that's all my dream was.
Oh my god. So to me,
Sure.
I feel like that dream is about
Mm-hmm.
you embracing your womanhood.
Thank you.
And I feel like you've always been really good about this. Like, you've always been a very strong, independent woman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My mom even wrote that in her child's book growing up. She was in my
Yeah.
baby book. She was like, she's a dick of a child,
Mm-hmm.
just a total asshole. But I know she's going to be a strong-willed young woman.
Yeah.
And I am.
Strong-willed.
Thanks, Mom.
My mom also called me strong-willed.
Yeah, and that usually means dick ass.
Yeah, it usually means a piece of work,
Piece
but
of
that's why we get along so
That's
well.
why we are here.
But yeah, I think that means you're like, you know, really embracing your womanhood, and that I wish I had dreams like that,
Wow.
but I don't.
mean,
My dreams are
That's okay.
stressful.
A lot of times I don't remember my dreams, and that was one of the only ones I did, so.
And look, we don't want to talk about our dreams all the time.
No.
We want you
We want to talk about y'all's
to
dreams.
tell us
I
your
wanna
dreams.
Pick apart your crazy ass dreams, please.
And we're not always going to be rambling this much
No.
at the beginning. This is just the introduction, so we had
The
to
premiere episode
the premiere episode. We just had to give you a background
of who we are, what this is.
And look, this is a very experimental process. We're sorting this out together as we do it with you, listener.
Sorting it out. Sorting.
So here's the thing. We want you guys to let us know what is resonating with you. Please message us your dreams, because we want to dissect your dreams for you and tell you how to live your life.
And anything to
You
do with
know?
horizontal, really.
Anything horizontal.
If
just
you feel
let us
like you want to know more about rock culture, if you want to talk about something like crazy that it happened in a dream, if you feel like you were laying down and something crazy happened to you in a park, let us know. If you have a weird sex fantasy or anything, like, we appreciate anything
Right.
laying down. Like, let us know. We want to hear from you guys.
And above all else, rate and review.
Rate and review. We're here
If
for
you-
the
look,
people.
If you enjoyed this podcast, if you didn't enjoy this podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. We don't want anything but 5 stars. Tell your friends.
Yes.
Post about it on social media. Please.
Hashtag
please,
horizontal
please,
podcast
please,
or horizontal
share it
with
with your
Mason
friends.
and Meg or Megan Mason.
If anyone would be interested in this. So I think that's
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
about it.
about
We're gonna
it.
be
We're gonna-
releasing one podcast every week, and it'll be on all streaming services and platforms and YouTube as well if you'd like to view us from above. But if not, then
Yeah,
do
the-
whatever you want to do.
I set up this whole freaking
Yes.
contraption here so that we could
did, she did.
film like this bird's eye view,
Mm-hmm.
because I haven't seen any other podcasts like this. Like,
No.
I know people record podcasts from bed,
From bed.
but the whole horizontal idea of like the top down shot,
This is very new.
it's unique.
It's very unique.
I haven't unique. I haven't seen anything
No.
like this online,
No.
and you know, I think it's, dare I say, a really good idea.
It's a really good idea. I think rock culture is back.
Rock
It's
culture,
never left.
Rock
in my
culture
opinion,
is here to stay, and I am so happy to be a part of it.
Mm.
We'd like to leave you guys with a little guided meditation.
We're gonna
okay?
guide you out with a little guided
You know, if you
meditation.
followed directions, if you understood the assignment and are currently laying down, you're in for a treat. If you're driving your car, if you're walking your dog, if you're doing laundry, next time, you know, you'll get it. But for all those
You're
who
all
are
good.
currently horizontal, we're here to guide you out. We're here to wish you some sweet dreams
Sit your sweet booty down.
and
Just for a
drift into a sweet, sweet, sweet slumber.
Sweet slumber.
So without further ado, Mason, take it away.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Are you going to close your eyes?
Oh yeah, I'm way ahead of you. Go ahead and take a deep breath. I want it to stretch from the top of your eyebrows all the way down to to the very, very tips of your heels and your toes.
All of a sudden, you're in a forest.
Oh, yes.
You're in a forest.
A very deep, spooky forest.
A forbidden forest.
Someone hands you a fun dip. You haven't had a fun dip since you were in elementary school. But you remember how to dip the fun into the dip.
You feel sleepy now. So you decide you're gonna go sit down next to a large oak tree and people watch for a while. You rest your head back on the oak tree as you slowly slip into a deep slumber.